Because if you have a new type of data set, and if you have new types of tasks, it might be very difficult to anticipate what you actually need interactively in order to solve a specific task you haven't seen yet. Right. So therefore, it might be much easier to say, okay, you have the data set, you also have all the tasks, the queries, whatever, and then you can start to build your thing. Whereas even if I give you a few examples, then you would need to anticipate the wealth, the possible universe of queries, which already for LSC is sometimes difficult when you come up with a new way of phrasing things. As, oh yeah, but this is only answerable because of this type of information I never considered. And even though it was always there, nobody ever looked at it because it was never used. So therefore, I would really emphasize the asynchronous part of this for new stuff, and if we want to do interactive things, then they should be reasonably close to things people are already familiar with, right? Because we see with VBS and LSC how high the barrier of entry already is. Yeah, and if we then say, okay, we're now going to do something that is more complicated than this, or even at least more new, there's completely clean slate. And the people at this table will not have a lot of time to actually participate in this.
Nobody
because,
does it, right?
Yeah. Because because everybody here is involved in actually building the back end of this, so there's not going to be participating teams that are sitting here.
PPC chair,
this too, right? But this is an independent problem. But even say, look, everybody here is probably out of participating because of conflict of interest and because we might already know the ground truth because we have been there. So that already cuts out a whole swath of people who already have the experience with this sort of stuff.
So it has to be easy.
It has to have well, the task can be difficult to do, but it should not have it should not be difficult to attempt.
So how would you design the asynchronous part? It would still be interactive, and we would still give rules of time limit, or
I would essentially have tasks where we do not specify very closely how people solve them, and just do the classic. Look, here's a bunch of queries. Here's how we're going. Here's the format you're supposed to present the results in. Here's the metrics we're going to use. You have 3 months.
Yeah.
Go.
And you have a limit. Like let's say you do an interactive task, you have a limit of 3 minutes per task.
Well, not even necessarily, right? Because you can DragFit also did this. You can just say you have to specify how you did it, and then we say if you have a thing that is completely automated that does not require any human input, then it goes into one bucket. If you have a thing that was human machine collaboration, it goes into another bucket. And then you're supposed to report, of course we cannot precisely validate this, but you're supposed to report the time, the number of rounds, or whatever is applicable for your approach. Again, this needs to be somewhat broad because people might have very different approaches to do this. But ultimately everybody just generates a rank ordered list of results or whatever fits the actual
or the answer if we do question answer.
Yes, or a string or an integer value if it or something like this, and then we will evaluate this in a maybe fully automated. If we just have a ground truth we can compare it to, maybe a judged, and then we do all this pooling stuff.
We probably have to do a pooling because the data's going to be too big.
I mean, for some, I can think of some types of tasks. So, for example, if you, and this is something I alluded to yesterday. I'm already having sneakily repositioning stuff all around the house. So there are some things, and I'm not going to go into more details because otherwise I'm going to giving away the task.
Was that cacao powder?
No, not the cacao powder.
And not the chocolate?
Also not the
The
chocolate.
banana?
But I mean, that might also be a type of where was the thing kind of task.
Yeah.
Because then there is we actively interacted with the thing. There's also some things you're probably not going to interact with, but that if you look back at the video, you will notice that it was there, but you probably haven't paid attention to it. And now everybody's looking at it.
Of course.
I'm extremely bad at that.
I'm
Can I
gonna-
replace it now? And
Yes, I'm going to tell you eventually. Right, but essentially, okay, tell me all the locations where that thing was across the time, right? And then it's somewhat automatable.
And you've got a record, right?
I have notes.
No, so that's enough.
Um,
That's good enough.
That's very interesting for this virtual forensic stuff that Zeno and colleagues do at Netherlands Forensic Institute. They have this virtual forensic lab and so on. And I think this is kind of going a little bit also touching sister communities, I would say.
I mean, the other thing is you have the receipts from shopping, so you know how much stuff we bought of which things. So
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
that
that's
strikes me
also
that
We
that's
should
also
record
interesting.
them, yes.
That's also
I
capture them.
photocopied them all, or
Yeah.
picture of them all.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Okay.
The very long one.
But
Yes.
with the video camera.
No, no,
And what the stuff
with
you
the
bought
camera.
today
Because
is not
then you have
on.
it as a hidden
I have it
counters.
on the camera.
Yes.
If it's not on the
Yeah,
camera,
okay,
then you have
yeah,
the
It
thing
strikes me
there.
that is a very nice hackathon task. The diet, generate a recipe book.
Yeah,
That's a simple hackathon
yeah,
task.
and I think this is what I meant
That
before.
might
Like
also
that
be
there
a
is
challenge
work
also,
on.
because that can
That can be
done through-
evaluated, yeah.
We can evaluate.
We have to, so we actually have to make our own recipe book again
Yeah.
after
What,
this.
what I
with
what I would
details.
also like to do, what I think would be interesting more for maybe the computer vision focused people, is if I brought the camera, right, and I'm gonna take some pictures later, and we can release some of those pictures, but not others, and then say, okay, what did the camera see? Reconstruct the image based on, you have a bunch of other cameras, you can reconstruct the scene, because at least much of the environment doesn't change all that much, so you can probably generate a very accurate 3D reconstruction of the environment. And I'm just gonna, you get a few training images to learn the properties of the camera, and it's like, okay, what was the focal length, what are the sensor properties, and then we have the images, and then I can even do a just pixel based, how accurate was the reconstruction.
I like that.
That's great.
I also brought a thermal camera that we can
Yeah,
take
you
some.
said that.
It's very low res, and it
Yeah.
only does pictures, but we can run around with this and
Yeah.
take some pictures and see if that gives something interesting.
Can I just like, I'm thinking about another one that we did once, and it's funny. So you have Google Street View for most of the cities, you know, like, but in Amsterdam, many years ago, we started thinking with the city, when I say city, Chief Technology Office and Data Lab, it's a bit risky, you know, to use commercial products, because at some point they even change the terms of service, you know, or they start charging insanely high, you know. So Amsterdam has own panorama vehicles, like many cities. You capture them with moving cars, or even from the boats, you know, like there are cameras mounted there, and you kind of stitch them into omnidirectional panorama. So interesting, we used it for some things, aside that you need to anonymize it properly and so on and so on, but we used it for obvious stuff that our community would use, detecting objects in a public space, monitoring state of assets, you know, like garbage, we even did that and so on and so on. But the catch is, so now comes interesting thing. So in a big organization like a municipality of that size, you have 50 to 80 departments, you know, like, and they have all product owners and so on, managers basically, and if they find it interesting enough, you know, like to incorporate this into their pipelines, then, you know, it can be expanded and so on, and it can actually save costs on many things. So the city organized once a hackathon. I was in a jury, and that was really interesting. So the first day come people from different kind of departments, and one is basically monitoring state of the advertisements in a public space. It's kind of you have to pay a tax to put anything in a public space as an advertisement. Apparently, in many cities, people just like hang something,
Right.
hoping nobody's going to see it. And there are even strict regulations on, for example, light pollution. You know, like if you put light symbol there, well, it may be preventing people from sleeping. You know, and so on. So anyhow, the head of department came and he was really like, hey, look, there are these panoramas, but we have no idea what they can be used for, and we are totally willing to invest this much and this much. You know, like if we see kind of evidence that you can reliably detect automatically all the advertisements in public space. So there comes another person that says, oh, if you can show us this and this. So there were like 5-6 people that came, and for 2 days people were busy really, and actually they were even kind of sometimes describing it very vaguely, but they were like really, hey, there must be something that we are not seeing there, because otherwise we would be probably using it. If you find something useful in it, when it comes to advertisement and so on, please also let us know. So, but I'm going with this one. We have this data now, so for a hackathon, I think it would be handy to give some guidelines, kind of give some ideas. Hey, look, invite some people from our community that have been working on food, like Tatseng, Chongwa, and so on and so on. They kind of say, hey, look, this is what community has been doing, some people that were doing this. Could be in this direction, doesn't have to be the same, you know, like, and then give some other hints, what people use it for. Recipes, you know, like there is this 1 million recipe, you know. We attempted to cook Asian food in Ireland, but I'm quite sure and it tasted great, but it's probably not the original ingredients. So what did we get? Close enough, yeah, but close enough, that's really great. What did you replace with what? So I think that kind of stuff, and then kind of, that's hackathon. And I think for Grand Challenge, at least I think we need to keep some interaction, because if you look what most of the people do, like in NeurIPSy, iClears, the computer vision conferences and so on, it's mostly fully automatic stuff. And this is like sports event, it's fun. It's I think that's some kind of joy that we are bringing to the table of a conference, any conference.
Absolutely, but then again, interactive has a high barrier of entry, so it should not be exclusive.
Yeah, I think what's coming out from the conversation is there's an asynchronous task and there's a synchronous task.
Yeah.
The asynchronous task is going to be lower barrier to entry. Any student in any university that can get his hands on 20 terabytes or her hands on 20 terabytes of disk space can process it. Then can process 24 queries or whatever we decide to do, send in results, pool relevant judgments, submission back, whatever, right, answers back, results back. And those that want to do the interactive element will come to the actual conference definitely, right? And they will take part in an interactive Grand Challenge, which is part of the conference. That's why they asked us to do it, right? They wanted the VBS and the LSE in
and they need more interaction.
Yeah.
Like we forgot that one. Like that was the thing. Multimodality, agents, interaction. That's like basically 3 cornerstones.
So we take it back to the simplest thing. There's a ad hoc and there's a Q&A section, etc. And then we lead to synchronous challenge, which is ad hoc and Q&A, maybe something else thrown in there, even though well in advance. And that's the first year. And next year we use the same data set, do it again with a grander set of challenges for people. That does look at their recipe creation or whatever it is inside we want to do. But we get it kicked off where we can show the success by having, what is success, 10 participants?
Yeah,
Not success.
I mean, ideally this would then also grow over time, because there's a lot of data that, well, there's a lot of data augmentation that can be done.
Yes.
So ideally what I would like to see at some point, which should be very doable for a large fraction of time. So most of us are going to be visible by at least one camera most of the time. We have a trajectory that can be reconstructed just based on the sensor streams that should be in this. So you should not only be able to have the position of every person in time, you could also do the full pose reconstruction, have all the skeleton control points. So you essentially can back project the people into the space, how they were posing, and then do this for all the actiony things, interacty things. Even if people want to do robot-y things, right? You at least have a barometer, how did people interact? But this is not necessarily very difficult from a technology, or at least from a science point of view, right? So methods to do this exist. It is just going to be work. to actually do this.
But is that a
So we will probably
CVPR
not.
grant challenge then?
Yeah, so we're not going to release this in February with a high fidelity annotated skeleton postings, because even if somebody wanted to do this, it would just take some time.
But wouldn't this be something someone could do for the hackathon?
Yes, something
Yes,
like this. I would
absolutely.
totally put
Just
something
bear
like
in
this
mind-
on the list.
The
Yeah.
hackathon
I mean-
focus was healthcare
Yeah.
wellness.
Yes, but
Yeah.
even,
I mean, if you do
We can do
Post-
two, right?
Post-reconstruction is a number of healthcare applications. That's,
Motion of person, motion of an elderly person around the home.
Yeah.
Is social interaction
We
healthcare?
need to start
Mental
knocking
health.
people over on some ground.
I don't
Sanity checking.
think you wanna go there.
Social interaction.
yes, no,
Meaning, think of us, you know, like.
But I guess for the
Evaluate the average sanity over
for
time.
for the hackathon, I would even keep it more open and say, look,
yeah.
this is the broad topic. These are some possible things we have come up with that
Yes.
we think would be interesting. You are supposed to, if you want to participate, sign up, propose a team,
Right.
propose a task, and probably we will just accept everything that is sensible,
We'd be happy to.
and as long as we have the capacity, and then our hackathon chairs are going to figure out all the rest, and possibly maybe we can get somebody to sponsor a best hackathon or
Conference
something.
Sponsored by ACM Multimedia.
I mean, one thing I was thinking also, I mean, for this tutorial on XR search, one insight was basically there's work on mixed reality search engines like they do at Basel, but there is no way of evaluating them. So
That's
this
fair.
could also be one thing. Like, I mean, I was thinking you have a lot of things happening in the kitchen. So you could be in a real kitchen where you have items that you could use as query objects.
Mhm.
So this could also be an exploration of like how would you set up a comparative interactive environment in which you test XR or MR search, right? Which is really something that's not there yet.
Totally.
Which is interesting enough because there's commercial interest in actually building such
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And there's, I mean, it's very wild west these days, right? There's
Yeah.
people trying all these sort of things. It's very niche at this point in time. But ubiquitous computing has been a buzzword for a while, and is cooking
Yeah.
up every once in a while. So I would not be surprised if there would be more commercial interest within the next few years to really try and put products into people's
Yeah.
hands. I don't know to what degree these products are driven by needs, or to what degree this is driven by what can we currently actually make work.
Yeah, of course, it's also like always like having a new feature for every release of another generation of devices,
Yeah.
of course, because just saying, okay, there's now a few 100,000 pixels more again, at some point it's not the most sketchy argument, so you
We've
need.
run out of things you can
Yeah,
perceive,
yeah.
right? So
Okay, so what's the next steps? Somebody writes down what we came up with and we have a discussion again.
Everyone is document, everything is documented.
well, I mean, everything is yes. Everything is,
Another suggestion, maybe, just a small one, to spice it up. We started thinking of spice it up, actually. Hey, there was this article, you know, like speaking of this pseudo-psychology, you know, like about organizational theories and so on. Have you seen
Well, you
a
told me about
particle?
it,
You take a sheet of paper, you literally salt it, you smash it right away, and it reduces your stress. It was very well known in some journals of dubious science. So this one, yeah, actually unbelievable, but okay. So what I was thinking, you mentioned that I just read an article, I couldn't believe it. It's actually some very well known names that name. So putting a pepper on me maybe reduces my stress. But do the salt and then anyway, and for yourself as well.
Yeah.
So what I was aiming at, somebody mentioned that we are going to be familiar with the data set and a process. People around us also a little bit more, you know, like because you tell colleagues, friends, you know. for a hackathon, maybe it could be a good idea to assign to each team that applies. And we ask people to apply beforehand a shepherd, somebody who's this or that way involved. And we kind of also organize it as a competition, meaning that shepherd is going to be guiding the team. You see where I'm going, and helping them make the best out of what they want, not really telling them what to do, but kind of trying to squeeze. I see some fronts, probably not a good idea. I was thinking, let's say Werner takes team A from Tsinghua, and Kahal takes a team from.
You're doing it like
Yeah, so this is-
American Idol is really.
Yeah, no, this is
Something like that, yeah. Why not?
No,
It's an interesting approach. I like the idea. I'm a bit worried about its implementation because many people on this table are going to be very busy these days, especially during the time of that hackathon.
Yeah, we won't have any, actually half people here won't have any spare time during that hackathon. Actually, you won't either.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
Because it's going to
if-
be in a weekend, is it?
we should ideally
Have
have
to figure out that, yeah.
some time during that hackathon because if
Stupid
we
idea.
are busy running around and something went horribly wrong.
Well, in most cases, it's the general chairs that will be busy handing out whiskies and stuff. So you guys should actually have an enjoyable week in reality, so you would have time to do stuff.
yeah. Well, I guess before the hackathon, it could be in the preparation phase. It could
Yes.
be light involvement, and yeah, I guess someone needs to be there anyway during the hackathon. So
Like,
I think this shepherding idea could work. I'm not sure because you said putting it more like a competition. I don't think. I mean, there might be very different ideas, so you can't really
Yeah, so
compare
it's
them. So I
more of
wouldn't-
a jury kind of
Jury,
thing.
yeah.
which is okay. The
Yeah.
TPC co-chairs would only be really busy in June, right? But chasing down 1,000 missing reviews.
Oh man, but program and all the
The
things.
program stuff will happen in July, right? Once you know all of you have lots of time. Lots of
So
time.
much time. You will not know what to do with
You will
all
have
that
4
time.
weeks during the conference.
Okay, remember, there's one thing we have to keep in mind. Whatever we decide to do for the hackathon, poor Vincent will be under pressure to replicate it next year. So it's just, it rolls on.
Yeah. Not
Not
your worry.
entirely convinced that this is our immediate problem because we need to make it first. We need to make it work the first time.
You
Yeah.
make it attractive without
and then
you'll
you
typically
learn
take
lessons from
part
it,
in
and
it.
later you
Yeah.
change. So
But I think
Yeah.
Finally.
some kind of reconstruction, data augmentation, make it very flexible.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can propose some health-related topics like recipe,
Recipe generation.
sanity checking. I don't know. If you can evaluate, if you have ways to evaluate, public mental health, can you apply them and give people sanity ratings and see whether there's a decline over the days of the workshop? No, whatever you want, right?
Anything left to decline?
Yeah.
What's also interesting is all these. If you look at what people do with this tracking of elderly homes, I was mentioning, are people, for example, classic question, did they fall? Okay, that's not happening here, hopefully. So far, nobody fell, I think. but the thing,
Cal said it's a dry house. That's why nobody fell so
So,
far.
or we're just gonna strew more banana peels and stuff. So it's-
but another one, for example, that they were catching, and there were commercial products also like on it. Are people hydrated enough? Did they take enough of this? Did they take enough of that?
Yeah.
And so on and
This
so on.
is like what's going to be really useful for elderly people independent living.
Now we are hitting all
They
these
won't wear
subjects
this,
somehow.
but they may have those guys.
Yeah, exactly,
So
yeah,
the data
yeah.
sets are really useful for that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a challenge, isn't it?
Totally. Maybe we get in touch with the
I have a
case and
company,
people.
that does that as well, but I have.
I
We
mean-
work with a company that does that. But they'd be really interested in sponsoring something like that. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do this with proxy task. I mean, this is the drug I'm supposed to take to keep me alive. So did I get my level of
your vital dose of
Yeah,
caffeine.
exactly.
But it
Yeah.
all ties into the recipe generation. What did you put in the meals? The amount of consumption that each individual person has done.
Yeah.
Can we pull that out of the two cameras?
Yeah,
or
did
just-
we get a variety of nutritional ingredients?
Such a nice data set.
Allergy warnings.
Yeah.
We have to at least get 2 years out of this data set before we make a new one.
I think that's
Yeah.
Bigger and longer,
Yeah.
with bigger SD cards.
bigger, more everything. I think this is something that is on the agenda for later in the week to
This was
to see what if we had infinite time and infinite money.
well, this was done on a massive budget. That's why we're at the end of the world. If we had done this in Wicklow beside Dublin, short drive, access to more facilities close by, it would have been double the price. So we had a rough envelope of 10,000.
Yes, and I mean these things
We haven't had those already, right?
these things are nice.
Mhm.
They're not. If we had designed this from scratch, this would look different, right? But
Then I would have had around 20,000. It would have had to put together something.
Yeah.
We happen to have these.
no, if we had designed this from scratch, you're talking quite a bit more. But
Yeah, but we can always
Nice to
answer.
see.
We could get this police body cams and
Well,
so
actually,
on.
we
They
talked
would
about
be worse.
strapping these on here, right? We talked
this
about
was this was the
We didn't
first
do it.
this was the first idea we had to say, oh,
In fact, you still like that idea.
do the harness, do the harness.
Harness, yeah.
The problem with the harness, if I have the camera here, and I do this, right?
Yeah. Like
I
Ali's
can
not
I
there,
can
but
already
there.
move my eyes, and you will have no idea where I'm looking at. But
Yeah,
at least
but
if
you
I
will
move,
have
at
an-
least
We'll
if
mount
I
it to
if
the
I-
eyeball next time.
if I move my head, at least you see what I'm looking
If
at.
somebody builds
If
a
I
tracking
will mount it.
camera with
I mean, honestly, there are like fairly compact sensors for eye tracking.
Yeah.
I mean, not like the one we have in the other room.
No,
It's
but
certainly-
there's things that could be done if it's
If Luca has a lot of time
if
to
it's
build
if
it,
it's
right?
if it's feasible. I'm not an electrical engineer, so this is there's
Like-
probably if
Everybody
you
gets a
actually
bit pro.
need to do this.
Electrical engineer.
Glasses for
Yeah, a few others.
two cameras, eye tracking
No,
movement.
Right.
It can all be done.
It can be done.
And
I mean,
a battery
But
pack.
I'm electrical.
To be fair, even in this like version, as long as there are two people sort of facing each other, there
Yeah,
should be a way to reconstruct that.
this is definitely also some data augmentation thing I would want to do,
Yeah.
right? If I look at you, can I reconstruct based on your feed where your point of attention was at any point in time?
Exactly.
Given
yes.
your given
Yeah.
that
And
I
that can
see,
be such
yes,
a cool
yeah.
task.
Yeah.
Actually, estimation from another person's another point of view.
Yeah.
That
Speaking of
would
which,
be
Pavel,
really
I think
Yeah.
your camera is also a little bit high.
Is it?
Can we reconstruct
So
everything in
can we
VR?
just like do one thing, because
Yeah,
Klaus
that
now
would be
asked me what did we finally conclude, so actually also
Yeah.
For the
Just-
challenge, for the
for the
Finally
challenge.
conclude.
so just like
Little
for
further.
a catch, and also for
I
basically
think
maybe it becomes a
that
task.
is
Can we now summarize? This is what we think now. Grand challenge is roughly going to be just as a summary. If somebody can kind of repeat, this grand
Okay.
challenge, this is going to be hackathon.
Better.
Bit high. Still.
Still a little bit high,
For-
but
for-
the screen's not on, so I can't.
So guys,
Yeah.
summary coming.
I think this is better, yeah.
Everybody look at Luca.
Yes.
No, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that for the actual challenge, we can have several subtasks that, so I mean, first to Drax, the interactive thing, the stuff is happening there on site, and the more traditional, you send us results, we're gonna tell you how well you did. Non-interactive stuff. For the former, it will probably have to be reasonably similar to the two interactive challenges we've already been doing. So have some instance retrieval and have some question answering with a human in the loop.
And we would like to attract VPS teams and LSC teams,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we will do judging maybe with a few people from here.
Yes,
Yeah.
so from
We
a
are just-
setup point of view, from an infrastructure point of view, also how the tasks are designed, how the tasks are presented, it would be the exact same thing
Yeah.
as VBS and
So
LSC.
then it could later go to the VPS and LSC, but for the first
Yes,
time
we
next
might
year,
even
we will
push
get AC multimedia.
push this into one of those, possibly. Which makes the communication to the people reasonably easy. I mean, what we might want to do anyway is just write a brief. If you have never heard of VBS and LSC, this is how it works, kind of document. which we're missing anyway. So
Yeah.
onboarding for new
Yeah.
teams is hard because you essentially have to chronologically read a decade of publications to see how the stuff actually works. But that would be the interactive part. And then there's a bunch of logistics we need to figure out, but this is essentially just work. So this is not difficult.
And for non-interactive, we could do almost the same tasks, but asynchronously.
Yes,
Yeah.
plus more stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so some of the things that we've said that we can actually evaluate that are different type of tasks, as in reconstruct this view from this point. So I actually took the picture, but I'm not showing you the picture.
Also, point of
the-
view, like region of interest / salient objects, eye gaze
That might be-
from another person's
That
point
might
of
be
view.
difficult to evaluate because we don't have the
Yeah.
ground truth.
Yeah.
So this is more of a hackathon kind of thing.
Yeah. Or
Because there we can
Preparing
look,
it
there
for
we can
future
look at
years,
it
yeah.
and see if it is reasonable, but if two teams submit something similar, we don't have a
Yeah.
precise metric to see how good is this. Because otherwise somebody would actually need
Yeah.
to have the eye tracker. Right, so these would be the, so that definitely the question answering the instance retrieval stuff in both tracks.
Yeah.
And the non-interactive would have additional tracks for reconstruction-y things that you could not reasonably do interactively. That also would not necessarily need human input because it's more of an algorithmic.
Like recipes or something that we could.
Yes,
Fine.
regenerate this
Yeah,
recipe.
yeah.
Regenerate this schedule for this person.
Right,
Count the number of this person did this type or on this day this kind of action was performed.
Right.
This sort of thing. This is still sort of kind of question answering. I would really want to do the visual reconstruction thing for the also so the computer vision people also have an interesting task. Things like that, right?
So just thinking about the reconstruction, maybe something we should do while we're here is taking measurements of all the rooms as a ground truth.
Yes. Do we have
Measure
a-
tape.
Is there a blueprint of the house?
Well,
I doubt I'll give us.
I mean-
I might get measuring tape on Friday morning. Yeah.
Well,
Cathal, that must be, if they were selling it, there must be a floor plan. In the Netherlands,
Yes,
at
I'm
least
just
you'll
thinking
find
what
for.
happened when I
I'm not sure
contacted
about
them
the
saying,
furniture also.
thank you for the week in your home, it was wonderful. Have you got the floor plans and the measurements? Already I'm thinking, oh, it's dates going to be out there with all their beautiful furniture in it. I ask for any more, I'm a little bit hesitant to ask for that. I'd rather we just take our measurements.
yeah.
To be fair, I think
They-
most
we-
modern smartphones can do reasonably accurate
Yes.
measurements,
Yeah.
so we can probably just do it ourselves without.
There is a hardware store in the supermarket, so we will have that.
We could get a automatic vacuum cleaner to generate the floor plan.
No, I mean, you presumably, as long as we have a reference object that we know the precise dimensions
True,
of,
yeah.
everything else
Yeah,
could technically
yeah.
be reconstructed based on.
That's our.
That's
Yeah.
dartboard.
Yeah.
I
Which would take the-
I was more thinking about something that is properly
Yeah.
like,
Stable and yeah.
well,
Like-
has a pattern on it
no,
that you
no,
can actually calibrate the camera and
Cathal, you will
Things-
need to walk through the
things-
house with this milk carton and so on.
things like that. But I mean, or just you can do essentially volumetric reconstruction just based on all these images.
Yeah, no, it's just about like if you want to make it useful, it's data set. It's
Yes,
also
The
good to
more
have a
stuff you
ground
have, the
truth.
better,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so do you have a plan for thinking about this, and tomorrow we kind of finalize what that looks like?
Yeah. And I guess for the hackathon we discussed a bunch of things that would be interesting, so it might be good. I don't have the agenda we came up with
No.
on the top of my head,
I'm just trying to find a list of tasks.
but
where everybody gets them.
it might
It's on
be
the
good
fridge,
if everybody also thinks about.
But you have the summary up first day? Something?
What do you mean?
Like video or something?
Yeah, I have, yes, some metadata
You have the big thing
of
on,
the
uh,
of
Yeah,
video,
it's different, it's
different
different.
tabs.
Should we have a,
I'll come to some of the results from yesterday.
Okay.
indeed.
No, thank you.
should we have a viewing of some of the data from yesterday?
Viewing on the days.
Viewing, probably not.
Of the funniest things that happened yesterday.
If I don't have that technology.
Okay, before we get up, I want to draw the list of tasks that everybody should be kind of doing over the course of this time, right?
Right.
So we have cooking, we know that already, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's cooking something. Everybody's cleaning after cooking, right? Everybody should be doing the
Chance to
reading
try the
experiment.
disc on another.
One and I'm going to chase you down.
Can you try later if it makes a difference?
Again, chase with
Let's
the
not
pack.
all do the reading experiments on Friday afternoon, right?
Well,
It's not the most fun
try to
element,
get as
but
many people as you can today.
20 minutes. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Everybody has to
reading,
No,
you
no,
said.
yeah, sure, absolutely.
Read
I mean, if
a book, alright?
Allowed?
if it's
I was doing reading aloud.
Yeah, but it should
Can-
be
can-
the guidelines. Do you want others to read aloud?
it's probably not going to be done.
I'm just thinking, what's the
But
benefit
it might
of
be
reading it? Read aloud.
get to a
Wait,
point
why not?
where
It's extra data, right?
Not used to it.
Get some audience.
Very weird, read out loud.
I was in
Imagine you have a kid there.
No, but then I will read Vietnamese.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, I
Yeah,
mean,
we've already done the
I'm
Christmas
convinced
tree.
that it's not a problem with the USB connection. So.
Everybody
we can-
should at
we
least
can
try to make noise
look
on
at
the
it
guitar.
afterwards.
Alright.
Noise on guitar. I won't call it music. Guitar.
So, do we have a printer in the house?
No.
No, okay.
Um,
I need some cord. I'll
yeah.
bring up some cord.
We're getting the third laptop.
Yes,
But I
I will
can put
set
it.
up that device later.
One of the
today.
helpers can do it, right? Just need to.
No, we can do, this is a task, we can do that, I will set this
That's all.
machine up later today.
Okay, so this is
With
reading
chords.
music.
That's
We
all.
will?
With chords, guitar chords.
With Ubuntu, and then you can do whatever you want.
With
Install MIDI
tabs,
software.
It directly boots into some MIDI thing.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do laundry, so I'm doing laundry and some very good.
Yes. Install some musical qualifications.
Train.
Games?
Okay, so games. And games will be multiple. We have wooden block game,
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, wooden block tower game.
wooden block.
Well,
Tower.
it depends on if it's tower game or
Yes.
just blocks.
Well, there's a tower in there right now, and it's very impressive that it's still standing.
Yes. But the question is, how many blocks can you pull down of that tower before it collapses?
It looks like one.
Yeah, exactly. No, it looks like zero. Before it collapses.
You might be able to
The
take
top.
the topmost
Yes, maybe.
Card game.
but
But aside that,
Buckaroo.
what?
Chess.
Buckaroo game.
Buckaroo, what's the Buckaroo game?
It's in there. It's
Chess,
the one where you
four.
put the
You
things on the
put it
camera.
up with-
opponent
Just ignoring
shows
you.
it, shows it
Oh.
off.
Poker.
Poker. Proper poker.
What is proper
Proper
poker?
poker.
Double
Double the rules.
Poker and chess.
That's gone.
So we don't
on
get
the
everybody
table,
in.
or?
Everything's in on the table, yeah? Chess? Connect 4.
I didn't play chess since elementary school.
We should
It'd
have
be funny if
the
I
rules
played
are still the
chess.
same.
darts.
Stefan, we play against me, same for me.
Chess or equivalent.
I'm not joking.
finally you were the opponent, somebody who plays at my level.
What's the
That's
equivalent
gonna be
of chess that
hilarious.
you have here?
Drafts. You take the Connect 4 pieces
Inventing
and you
the
play
rules.
drafts.
Googling the rules.
It's an easier game
That,
than
that
chess.
machine is
People will be feeling
yeah,
less
exactly.
Checkers?
Okay, drawing.
I think it's similar.
We need a chess program.
Drawing a
Similar to
picture.
check-
Suggest.
similar to
Oh, I mean, we
check.
can play
Paper
checkers
planes.
with
Writing.
Connect
Yeah.
Four.
Drawing with
Yeah.
what? You don't have pencils. You don't
It's
have.
something
We do.
that
We've got colored
whoever
markers.
first
We've got
on the web
certain-
page, it's on
Oh, I
the
didn't get
basic
anything. That's
tactics
why I
is
had to
probably
play
gonna be the
it.
best.
What?
She painted a picture with enamel paint to use for
Yes, but it's much nicer because the others are
what was that? What was the
crude.
other thing we said?
Origami.
Origami.
Paper.
Paper plane.
I would want some colors. please.
Yes, you have colors,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
these colors you will not be able to achieve.
The long
precision.
game.
Long game, dart slash long game.
At the end of the day, remember
Right.
Is that it?
Quizzes?
Thesis?
Quizzes.
Quiz. I have somebody handing up a thesis this week if you want to read it. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
That's
The
the
reading task.
Reading task. Somebody please read News PhD. The happy quiz. Anything else?
I think that's it.
I think that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 20.
Teach somebody a card game.
Teach how
Well,
to
teach-
Uno.
I wanna learn poker because I also
Yeah.
didn't play that one since.
Yeah,
But don't learn from her.
If
She
people
will take all your money. But you learn.
Dublin rules.
I wanna learn
No,
any
but
poker.
definitely, if you have a thing
I
that
will
you
show
can
you.
teach other
Okay.
people, that would be
It's
very
much less
interesting.
complicated.
So I call
What do you mean much less
Klaus
complicated?
had a card game.
How much
What
longer
else?
are you getting?
When you get all your cards,
Yeah.
you're allowed to change one, you go. So
Okay.
5 cards. Oh, I want to go to this one. Take another card. Thank you. Show your cards.
Until you have a
Oh.
very bad
That's
luck.
not poker.
It's poker, it's proper.
No.
It's a version of poker, yes.
Okay, and how many rounds of betting are there?
What's the rule? What's the
You
rule?
just keep going until you finish.
So,
No.
do you
But
know the
like,
normal rule?
Yes, you
of
still bet
poker?
with chips, right?
Yes.
I used to know.
But like,
no.
so you
I
get
will
your
raise
cards.
you
I haven't
50.
played
Yeah,
it.
no, no.
And you'll match me.
So
And
you
you'll
try
raise
to
me.
get
However
some
many
patterns.
rounds is.
Okay,
Eventually
okay,
it's not.
okay.
Do you try to get some patterns
But it should be
out
around
of
before you
5
switch your
cards?
Oh
card.
yeah,
that
no,
way?
no, no.
Yes,
There's
yes,
Yeah,
three
yeah.
rounds,
But his
poker.
version is that you get 5 cards at once.
But you
Their
have a round
version
of
is
betting
that you
before you
have
switch
2
cards
cards
and
on
then
your
after.
own and
No, we do after.
the
We
other
do it. We do it. We do
5
both.
cards
It
on
would
the
be more
table.
interesting with
Yeah.
before.
I think I was playing that one.
Okay.
That's-
Because
that's
they-
Actually,
Actually, the only one I always thought
But
when
the
you
thing
play
is like the sets
Look.
that the sets
You
that
play
you
proper
bought.
poker. You play
Just-
so
No,
many
no, no, no.
Texas poker
Texas
thing.
poker.
No, but the thing is like the
I
sets
can play it as well.
on the sets there were slots for the cards, so
Okay.
they were playing according to
We'll
the
play
sets.
snap.
Snap.
What is now?
Whoever gets a matching card. Snap.
Ah, yes.
It's actually good fun.
Yeah.
Hey,
If you're trying.
so that double poker.
We'll do Dublin poker.
Yeah.
All along, you're in.
Sure,
Dublin rules.
sure.
Very good. So
so
basically
let me
it's
change
one off. You
poker.
get a card,
Proper
so you
poker's
can
already in there, yes.
get new
Proper
card,
poker.
we play proper poker.
Yes.
But that means your credit card is out.
What was
Your
that?
credit card goes on the
The wallet's
Yeah, that's proper.
I got
Okay.
it out of the
That's
fridge.
proper.
Right? The only thing, not everybody can actually do laundry, but everybody can do cleaning.
Sleep at the house.
Everybody is expected to clean up after 2 meals. Right? Over the course.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
I can do cleaning now. I didn't do
You're
cleaning.
cooking? No, you
Yeah,
cook.
you're
No,
cooking.
you're
Yeah, you
the
go to
chef.
clean.
You're the breakfast chef every
Right.
day apparently now, so.
Self-appointed, plus helping with lunches.
So who was
Did
lunch?
you get the rolling pin when you were shopping?
We didn't, but we got a very tightly wound aluminium foil.
I was kind of afraid that you would say that, but okay.
No, it was the cheapest one, so it was really, really small. It's perfect.
Yeah.
We can make, we
Yeah,
can make that
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you start?
We that was the decision taken.
Well, he.
That's a wrong decision taken.
A decision taken by people.
The other option was we went to Galway. We're still on the way back now.
There was no rolling pin?
Order it from Amazon, it will arrive next week.
Ah, yeah, there was no rolling pin. There was no rolling pin.
No rolling pin. We didn't have the cameras on, so nobody could prove
Yeah,
it.
there was no rolling pin.
So lunch is
Chicken hot dog.
chicken hot dogs.
Yeah.
It's gonna. I'm coming with you, right? Is that the plan?
No.
Do it by yourself.
Just me, Lynn, and Bao.
But I thought you'd done the new curry.
How long will
Yeah,
it
but
take?
the thing is that they are not wearing cameras, so
Yeah.
I have to do it for them.
Or somebody else can do it. They can instruct people. Maybe a bit more. It would actually be much more interesting if it's somebody who has no idea what they're doing.
Right.
And you just have to give instructions.
Oh, if you're willing to have a really bad one.
You can do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're willing to have, to risk it. We have plenty of food, right?
That's not good.
What's the worst that can happen? Famous
I'll give them some health results just in case. The NTCR queries and get them out.
This one is?
Now,
Yeah.
on camera.
On camera. Because it's going to be the query's going to be out before the day that comes out.
Yeah, okay.
So it's meta.
Yeah, but can I do it after lunch?
You cook lunch now?
No, not now.
No, but you find some volunteers wearing cameras who have no idea, never seen the recipe, and then that's much more interesting.
The important thing is that even the person who suggested the recipe doesn't know what he's doing.
That's even more interesting.
I needed to get more stuff this morning.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we
that's right. So,
But you made it before?
No.
No,
So
okay.
nobody made it before because we actually
It's
don't know what we're
okay,
doing.
it's fine, let's cook the ham as well.
Oh yeah, what's the ham for?
Sandwiches.
Okay, you can do that as a backup.
For the trip back.
Okay, great job.
Okay.
Okay, who are the two people who are doing the cleaning?
I can do it.
Lovely, you're the two people.
Yes, yeah.
I'll go back to the laundry.
The copy, yeah.
I will.
I will record you doing laundry. Yes, as a second. Because laundry is outside of cameras, right?
But you know, outside of that, you don't have that camera.
Just stop this.
This is a cup of egg standing here.
I'm not sure if someone needs it for making still.
I will need it. Ah, very good. This is leftover egg yolks from tin
Same for the exact same dish, I put it in the fridge. Yes, you should put it in the fridge, yes. No, but I mean, is it okay now? Yes.
That's the perfect choice.
Because,
I mean, it's egg yolk. Go fast.
Okay.
I know, don't worry. It's all good. It's the white shirt now.
Yes, I'll bring that my shirt.
Put it in.
oh my god. Some fake milk.
Fake milk. Oh. Interesting. Very non-milk.
There is very good space. Reference, you know. Nasta, and the rest of the country just Nasta. So when the rest of the country goes to Nasta, and they're always joking, all these old cappuccino folks. We forgot to put the red rice on the table. Oops. So this one goes to fridge, or it can stay on a counter?
Is this clean or dirty? What's dirty?
Is it some orange, international expert fridge or countertop?
Fridge. That's the fridge.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you can always start with.
This is interesting. That's good. There's still some space left. These ones, I think I should do them.
I guess they have to be outside here. They have to.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah, we can check if you're spacing there. I can already start putting on here.
This is my world famous packaged What are you doing?
Solitaire of a kind.
Oh, I think we can.
Okay, yeah. Just make sure, or put it in here because there's always something, otherwise we don't know where we can start. Oh yeah, yeah.
Man, this is a serious cut properly. Maybe that's why they're not serious. Our head is super compressed on this. Yesterday, even when I sleep, I still feel it. Yeah, I trust it. Yeah. I went to sleep and I really felt, oh, did I have camera still on?
Yes.
This is a bit complicated, but it's very.
Okay.
White cold wash.
So put the shirt on the. But towels are not ready. I'm spinning now. I think.
Yeah, for cooking. Roasting.
Name is 13 and 2, I don't remember which
Okay.
okay. But you started as firm 13 pounds.
Okay.
They're okay. What you should have.
We're not missing any.
What's the new thing?
Somebody get in a market and wow.
So we go by card.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, so, and the rule is something to transfer.
Okay.
You can go for one card.
Okay.
And if I go for this tree, then go higher.
Okay.
Or at least equal. So if they have
Same suit or different suit?
doesn't matter. But if we have the order, so this the heart is higher.
Okay.
And then come to the diamond.
Okay.
This. Let's say that we have one tree.
Okay.
Put this one tree will not be higher.
Okay.
And 3, 4, 5, 6 is better
Don't
the 7 you have to be.
Okay.
So this is the order.
Well, we need to get some non-productive.
Space is lower?
Face black and
Okay.
so that's the
Diamond.
one.
Heart.
Yes. So
Okay.
or you can go by a pair,
Okay.
or you can go continuously with a
Okay.
spread
Okay.
from 3. Like let's say for example now
Yeah.
5, 6 and 7.
Okay.
Or 5, 6,
we have some
7.
croissants
Right.
for
Maybe go okay, you must go exactly 4 cards and put it higher than me.
So you do this and then I have to do 4.
Yes, or you say you skip.
Okay.
in between.
Okay.
Well, I like it, but I
I
should.
could go 4 cards and pick any cards as long as I follow the
No,
rule of higher.
Yes, the higher.
I think that already gained like
So I
a
can
kilo.
go like
Maybe Werner can
Nine.
also afford, but
Yeah.
Klaus,
That doesn't look like it, that's for it.
No, in this case, I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay.
It should be jack and then queen.
Okay, but can I size in a different?
You know, there is.
Can I do it? It has to be higher than yours.
These guys.
It must be higher than yours.
Okay.
It must be.
All right, then that means I.
That's what
You can make everything on, yeah,
Christmas
that's
lights,
So-
they
so-
can put that on way down.
Down so we can actually
These
discuss
are the croissants.
while you're playing. The camera down.
Yeah, you don't have anything higher.
What else can I
Yeah,
help?
well, not enough, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
that's a simple thing.
So what happens now? Did you win or?
No,
Or-
the guy
Yeah, I hope the car with that one.
Okay.
So let's say if I order my first car, I want.
Okay. Okay. So now means you just play the four cards,
Yeah.
and you got rid of them, and so now you have the advantage.
So you can say you skip and then it can go next maybe like this.
Okay. And now I have to do.
You have 5 there. Bigger than mine.
Okay.
Yes.
First of this one.
And then I can go for, let's say this.
Now I can do this.
And then I have this one, I can just skip it.
So because you have no sequencer.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's.
You don't have anything.
Okay.
And you skip it, and then you go next.
Oh, okay. But then okay, so now it's my turn to
You can choose whatever you want.
choose whatever one. So I, for example, I could. Can I do a longer sequence?
Yes, as long as you want.
So I can do 7, 8, 9, something like that.
Yeah, and then I skip it.
Okay.
And then you go for this.
And then I can do a sequence. Ah, okay.
Wait,
But,
it's
yes,
not
yes.
simple. The biggest price wheel is number 2.
The biggest one is number 2. Okay.
The smallest one is number 3.
Ah, okay.
And
Collaborative cooking.
cannot make, let's say, you can go. So you can go like this.
Okay, yeah.
This is green.
Only
You
6.
cannot put the 2 here.
It'll never put, no,
Uh-huh.
It belongs to
so
any
much.
issue.
Okay.
You cannot put two here.
So 2 has to be a square.
Eating that much.
Can be a pair, can be 3 up there, can be 1.
Right.
You cannot go into the square.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And so if I put on 2, you can put on 2.
No, then I lost.
I will measure the
Ah,
roots.
okay.
This is the biggest part, so
Yeah.
I just stick.
Do you want to do that while with my phone?
I don't know the biggest name, we could purchase, we could do or something.
Okay.
That's the biggest.
Yeah. And so this you cannot combine all
Okay.
along.
Okay.
And then we go to the more particular thing. So we have, so you can go only for 1 pair.
You buy another freeze dry.
Yeah.
You don't have like.
Just here?
Yeah, but I thought,
No,
well, they're already gone and
Okay.
Hey guys,
it was
whoever,
So let's say you
whoever
have
is
this.
cooking, we have 2 packages of the chicken that have to go today.
You can have 3 then you can go 8, 9, 10. Let's say, this, and you, this is bigger. And 3 then the row is bigger than.
that's a
So
hazard.
then I can.
Okay.
And then you must, in this case, you have to show the number 2, when you have to find 3 then the row.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
I normally am not happy to do chicken or so forth.
No, that is weaker, or not belong to sequence. This is the sequence of every single part.
Right.
You let the rule again. So if you have 3 continuous number, 3 pairs, not continuous, like
Right.
8, 9, 10.
But pairs are bigger than sequence?
No, when you go for 1 car,
Right.
and then 3 pairs in a row can fit.
Okay. Fair.
Whatever number, even if it's. Three up a tie, running all 3 up a tie, so let's say if I go for the 3, number 6, you must find 3, 7, 8, 9, but you cannot. Then there is another thing. So I must be in the sequence to play with you. So let's say if I go for, let's say Lego,
Yeah.
with like 8, 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
and then I skip it.
Okay.
So I cannot jump anymore until
Right.
signature. But if you have 4 bases in a row, you can jump no matter where you want.
4 pairs in a row?
Yeah, let's say 7, 9, 10, and yeah.
Okay.
Let's go no matter where you want. So you can skip with 7, 9, 1, 2,
Okay.
you can do it. Nowhere.
Okay.
All can also bid, I will go to that. So 4 with 5 can bid any number of times.
Okay.
Cannot bid a pair of 2.
Right.
Yeah, pair 2 is very high.
Okay.
But 4 pairs in a row can bid also a pair of 2.
Okay. Okay.
And you tie the
Only one.
inlay breast instead?
Only 4
Maybe
pairs
that
in a
will
row.
need some of that chicken. So chicken hot cross.
And mainly that is the most complicated thing done.
Okay.
But then we play into the point. So every single level you play because the point is complicated.
Right.
So this is 1 point. If you lost one, you lost 1 point.
Right.
If you win again, you don't remember. 2 or 3 points depends on how you decide. If you lost one, black suit,
Okay.
you lose 1 point. If you lost one, red suit,